Rajiv Dixit sir, with your permission, we'll wait for another 4-5 minutes, sir.
No problem, no problem.
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
no problem.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, because they had internals in the morning, so they are taking
Oh, okay.
little time, it seems.
Fine, fine, fine. No problem, no problem. Let's wait. No problem.
Only one by one they are joining, sir.
Okay, okay.
Sir. Sir, we will start in another few seconds, sir.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yes. Yeah, we'll start. A very good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Dr. Dinamani, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, would like to welcome one and all to this webinar entitled eco-friendly solutions for surface treatment and metal finishing. Webinars play a very important role in keeping ourselves updated with the recent trends in the field of science and technology. Department of Chemistry is constantly organizing webinars, invited talks, and industrial visits for the students to enrich their updation with the present technology and recent trends in the field of science. In this regard, Department of Chemistry has organized webinar on this eco-friendly solutions and surface treatment with metal finishing. So, students are hereby required to attentively listen to the speech webinar, and they're required to write a report on this, which will fetch them 10 marks for towards their internal assessment. So they need to note down everything, and they have to be attentively listen to all the to the webinar. So with this brief 2-3 lines, I would like to request our HOD, Dr. K.S. Anantaraju, to formally welcome the speaker as well as the gathering. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all. Respected today's invited speaker, Sri Rajiv Dixit. In his absence, our beloved principal, Dr. B.G. Prasad, and our department colleagues, and also my dear students. See, before I'm going to start my welcome address, just I would like to mention few things with respect to this, the invited talk. See, in order to achieve the excellence in the department, regularly the department is going to invite eminent speakers across the globe as well as across India. See, whatever the webinar or the invited talk we organize at the department, it is always which is in line with the curriculum. As you all know that as per National Education Policy 2020, see, one of the important thing is that in a curriculum we need to adopt more of eco-friendly and sustainability things. That is a more emphasis has been given in the Education Policy National NEP 2020. See, in continuation of that, the Department of Chemistry regularly inviting many eminent personalities. Today, we have one such eminent personality. See, it's a great pleasure and honor for me to introduce him for the today's occasion. Reason is that just I don't want him to call him as a eminent speaker or invited speaker. He's a true human being. That is what just I wanted to tell to the audience who are present here, because more than more than 10 years of coordination is there with Rajiv Dixit sir. Really is a very true human being, because reason is very simple. Is really very kind enough for all the things, and very importantly is a great contributor to the society with respect to his innovation in the field of metal finishing as well as corrosion science. Dear students, today we arranged a talk on eco-friendly solutions for surface treatment and metal finishing. It's a great pleasure and honor again in order to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Rajiv Dixit. Sir, on behalf of management, on behalf of Department of Chemistry, on behalf of our principal, I welcome you, sir, to this occasion, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Anantaraju.
Secondly, in his absentia, I would like to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. B.G. Prasad. He is always a constant support for such activities. So, on behalf of Department of Chemistry, welcome our beloved principal, Dr. B.G. Prasad. See, thirdly, I would like to welcome, see, whatever the activities which is going to happen at the department, it is all because of the department support given by the faculty members. Today's the coordinators for this event, Dr. M. Dinamani, Dr. Pradeep Pai, and Dr. Karuppa Swami, and other my fellow colleague members. I welcome them also for this occasion. Last but not the least, my dear students, see, you are all here. So probably when you listen to the Rajiv Dixit sir, delivery of this talk. You are going to learn many things. It is a very important topic. It is very clear what exactly you are going to study in your syllabus. Corrosion science and metal finishing is going to get that live with this presentation. That is what just I wanted to mention to all the students. With this, once again, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our colleague Dr. I. Pradeep, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to introduce the speaker. Sir, over to you.
Respected resource person, Sri Rajiv Dixit, our beloved HOD, Professor Dr. K.S. Anandaraju sir, the webinar coordinators, Dr. Dinamani and Dr. Karupaswamy, and the fellow colleagues and my dear students, good afternoon. Let me allow to introduce our speaker, Sri Rajiv Dixit, a visionary in the realm of clean technologies with a background in mechanical engineering. Rajiv passions for green chemistry has driven him to pioneer innovative solutions for both industrial and domestic applications. Over the past 35 years, he has tirelessly worked to develop over 200 unique clean technology processes, prevent failures in more than 50 projects, and establish 40 waste recovery initiatives. His groundbreaking work has garnered recognition, including prestigious environmental awards, and his expertise has been sought by over 500 industries spanning aerospace, defense, and beyond. Not only has Rajiva contributed significantly to the field through publications and seminars, but he has also generously shared his knowledge, guiding students and faculty alike environmental science and technology. As the CMD of Pyro Eco-Green Technologies Private Limited and Pyro Technologies, Rajiva continues to lead the charge in revolution, surface treatment, and metal finishing practices, all while dedicating his time to non-profit endeavors and indulging in his hobbies of knowledge sharing and traveling. Please join me in acknowledging Rajiva Dixit's remarkable contribution to cleaner, greener industries. So this is the time for hearing his expertise in the field of innovative eco-friendly solutions for surface treatment with metal finishing. Welcome you, sir. This is the time for you, sir.
Thank you. Very good afternoon, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep, Professor Anantaraju, Dr. Dinamani, for inviting me here and to share my work. And I'm very happy to see many youngsters taking some interest as far as chemistry is concerned, because few years back, I was really worried. The number of people who are getting into the chemistry was so less. So it was an alarming figure. Now the trend is definitely increasing. I'm very happy with this. Any subject, whether it is chemistry, physics, maths, you just name it in different ways. But at the end of the day, all depends on how we are reciprocating with respect to our environment. That is the most important thing. I'm not talking only about the environment like your plants, animals, even including human beings, and the responsibilities that what you have and how to deliver it. The fundamental ethics, I should say, in one word. From there, the thing starts. So I think all subjects try to teach us the same thing. And today I'll be discussing few of the works that we have done in replacing some of the hazardous things which most of the industries are using worldwide. It's not only in India, worldwide. So I'll be going through some of these slides and one or two videos also, which demonstrate clearly about the advantages of eco-friendly technology or a clean technology or a green technology. And if any one of you have any questions, doubts, clarification, please stop me. Don't hesitate. Because once you ask questions, I will also be motivated more probably to explain it better. So the first slide as it shows, eco-friendly solutions for surface treatment metal finishing. When we say surface treatment, it is not only metal, it includes even non-metals like plastic, rubber, and so many other things. So the first slide, the surface treatment, when we say this, any metal finishing industry or any engineering or most of the industries, as you say, they had to prepare the surface for the subsequent operations. It's a simple, one of the simplest thing is painting, you can say. Before painting, you need to clean the surface very well. All of us know that particular thing. And some of the common techniques, which of course you must be knowing or you will be reading in the subsequent studies when you study this. Cleaning, when we say cleaning, degreasing, the name itself says the removal of oil and grease, pickling, phosphate coating, chromating, conversion coating. These are all some of the technical names which is given to a particular operation. End of the day, it is only to prepare the surface so that the subsequent coating, whether it is organic or inorganic, like painting or powder coating or plating, like copper, nickel, gold, and other things, you should have the best possible addition, which enhances your corrosion resistance and of course the aesthetic also, the overall quality. This is the basic reason why we go for the pre-treatment. So the surface finishing, when we say the surface treatment, when we say pre-treatment, is the fundamental thing, which is the most important step. Next comes the actual process where we are doing the actual painting or powder coating or the actual plating itself. And subsequently the post processes, what we call it, which includes rinsing and some of the corrosion protective coatings also. So fundamentally, today I'll be talking more on the pre-treatment. That is, it is something like, you have to lay the right foundation to get the right building. So if the foundation is bad, we are going to lose the building. So similarly, the pre-treatment takes a very important step. And what is happening world over, that's what I would like to bring all of your attention. When we say a cleaner or a degreaser, including the household or an institution or an industry, most of them has one or the other toxic things in it. So these are all few things which I have mentioned here. You can say either it will be a carcinogenic, which is cancer causing, bioaccumulate, toxic, VOCs. VOC is nothing but volatile organic compounds, which some emission will be there at room temperature. Any solvent which has an emission at room temperature, they are considered as VOCs. And ODS is ozone depleting. All of us know ozone O3 up in the layer is good, which is getting depleted when we use some of the solvents like chlorinated solvents or fluorinated solvents. I will show you one or two examples probably. And corrosive. I am very sure most of you are aware about the acids, conventional acids like hydrochloric acid, phosphoric acid, nitric acid. So many acids we use. Some of the alkalis we use like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. All these things are highly corrosive. And most of them, when it comes to the toxic chemical solvents, other things are not biodegradable. They don't degrade it so fast. And when we talk about the alcohols, thinners, and hydrocarbons, what we use for the general purpose cleaning, those are all either flammable, toxic, irritant. These are all some of the basic, what I should say, the disadvantages, what we get when we start using some of the chemicals, which is being used conventionally, as I said, not only in India, worldwide. So the next slide clearly says, you have to remember this particular thing. These are all the symbols when somebody is supplying a particular chemical or a cleaner for any application, let us say, even in the household, you should observe the sticker where it will be noted some of the symbols like irritant, highly flammable. Flammable, I think I'm sure all of you might have seen, on the toxic. And some of them are not good for the environment. They say it's dangerous for the environment. And corrosive with a symbol. All these things, most of the chemical, I should say more than 99.9% of the cleaners what we are using contains one or the other sticker like this. This is a warning. You have to be very, very careful. So the second thing comes the MSDS, a material safety data sheet, which usually industries will have, which says what exactly the precautions are, the hazardous which it contains, the chemical contains, and what are the precautions that you should take. Right, it will be starting from your gloves to goggles to wearing aprons, different kind of apron, and all these things are defined in that MSDS, which is called as a material safety data sheet. So when I talk about an acid, let's say hydrochloric acid, what is the immediate thing? Handling. Because it is highly corrosive, you need to have the gloves, you need to have the goggles, and you need to store it in a particular proper way. And when you use it without training, you cannot use it because of so many dangers which are involved. And especially when one acid comes in contact with the other acid or another alkali, the threat is tremendous, at least about 10 to 100 times it increases because of the violent reactions. So all the industries, with or without our knowledge, we are creating so many toxic atmosphere in the environment. And still we call it as a technology, and we say that we are improving day by day. The science is improving, the technology is improving. So the underlying aspect is, when we are not taking care of our environment, irrespective of whatever we do, in my opinion, I'm very sure all of you will agree, it is not a right technology at all. So especially for students, when you start studying, your focus should be there always from the environment angle. That's the most important thing. So tomorrow, many of them get into a research of some of your own passionate thing, and not necessarily only the chemistry. I'm telling, in each and every field, you should always keep one open mind with talks always about the environment. Okay, this project I have taken, this is the additive which I'm using, this is the chemical which I'm using. Is it good for me? It is good for the environment. Is it good for my working the subject? So when you consider all these things, it's my experience also. When you consider environment as a first step, rest of the thing comes automatically very good as a byproduct. I will show you some of the slides. So in our company, what we are trying to do is to eliminate all these things and say the cleaner what we produce or what we give it to the industries are totally non-corrosive, non-flammable, non-toxic, non-carcinogenic. It doesn't deplete the ozone. It doesn't have any VOC. It's totally biodegradable. So these are all the plus points when we start using the safer alternative for the hazardous thing. So I don't claim that everywhere, every industry can use all safe things. Few industries may require some of the hazardous thing that should be done with some precaution. But I'm sure for most of the pre-treatment, more than 95% of the industry, they can shift into a totally eco-friendly alternative, which is definitely available. So few examples I will try to give it to you. This is one of the job which we did for Midani. This is a cobalt alloy wire. It is something like stainless steel wire, you can see. So cleaning this is a very important thing, because this is a welding wire which is used to weld the titanium which gets to the space shuttle. Like recently Chandrayaan, I think all of you know it very well, and we were also a part of it. We were able to develop a suitable cleaner and a passivation solution for this particular application. Earlier, they were using one solvent which is called as TC or trichloroethylene. As the name itself says, it is a chlorinated compound which depletes the ozone, which is not good for the environment, and it has some kind of a toxicity also, which is not good for the person who is going to use it. And the third aspect is you have to heat this particular trichloroethylene to get those vapors, and those vapors will clean the grease, oil, and other things. In spite of that, they used to get almost about 40% rejection in the finished product because of the contamination. It was not cleaned properly, and again, it used to rust. So what we have to do is first ensure that the cleaning is 100% and then passivate it so that the further rusting will not happen. So we developed a unique cleaner which is based on orange oil and a citric acid based solution. Orange oil is to clean the grease and oil. Citric acid is to passivate the surface. When we did this particular thing, it has passed all their tests, and now almost I think about more than 4 years now, there is absolutely no rejections and no problem with that. So what I'm trying to say here is we have taken care of not only the environment or the people who are going to work there, even the quality is increased or enhanced to a drastically, wherein 40% of the rejection is saved. And each kg of this wire will cost almost about 6,000 rupees per kg. And you can imagine the amount of savings what Midani is doing now. So it is a win-win situation for all of us. As I said earlier, when you consider the environment as your first step or the first thinking, the rest of the thing falls automatically into the best possible practices. So similarly, this is one of the degrees that again which we developed for HCL here in Bangalore. You can see this is a magnesium component, a magnesium alloy basically. It's a lightweight metal where heavy grease is applied to protect it from further corrosion. And when it gets into the actual assembly, we need to remove all these grease, oil, and other things. So when we say cleaning, whether it is a degreasing or pickling, the only difference is an organic cleaning or an inorganic cleaning. Organic is nothing but removal of the oil and grease. Inorganic is nothing but removal of your scales or oxide scales or inorganic impurities like silica and other things. So when we say that cleaning has to be always 100%, there is nothing like you get 90% or 99% and your job is through. No, never it is possible. It has to be 100% all the time. Even if it is 0.1% grease, oil, or any contamination is there, that creates a huge problem during the working. If not today, for sure tomorrow. It can develop into many cracks or a corrosion, or the coating may peel off, the paint may come down, and accidents can happen. So many things can happen. So the underlining aspect is when we talk about the cleaning or a clean, degreasing, pickling, or any of these things, it has to be 100% cleaned surface. When we say the cleaning is 100%, that means to say we have removed all corrosive ions 100%. Even if the one corrosive ion is left behind, it creates a problem, as I said, if not tomorrow, based on the environment and the time. So this again, they were using trichloroethylene, which is a hazardous thing. Worldwide, it is banned. Unfortunately, in India, it is being continued. I think probably another 5-6 years, they have the plan of banning this also. And we were able to replace it with a very safe solution wherein we can clean it 100%, that to at room temperature. And the quality is in par with any of the standards which you have cleaned, or maybe sometimes better. And coming to the steel, when we talk about the steel, there are only two problems in the industry, or for all of us. One is the rust removal, and one is the rust prevention. So you can see this is a die which is used in automobile industry. Similarly, this is a railway track. Wherever you see steel, obviously rust you can see. These are all the chocolate crushers which is in the food industry. If you keep it for more than a day or something like that, the corrosion, this type of corrosion you can see. The corrosion will start immediately, but you can observe only after a few days because this color is nothing but Fe2, which is a stable state of your iron, Fe. So only this we see, but the day one, these other states of Fe which you are unable to see, we feel that there is no corrosion at all. But in principle, the corrosion will immediately start once the bare steel is exposed to oxygen. Because all of us know the rusting phenomenon, you need the steel, you need the moisture, which is the conductivity, and you need the oxygen for that electrochemical reaction. So immediately the corrosion will start. The color you will observe only after some time, that's all. So it is very, very important to have a passive surface, or the surface should be substituted with a better coating so that the further corrosion will not happen. So what we have done here, left side, you can see a component which is totally rusted. As I said, the conventional way is to use some kind of a hazardous acid, generally hydrochloric acid, which is quite cheap. Sometimes they use a combination of hydrochloric acid and phosphoric acid, and they try to clean that. The problems, as I said, is not only the fume, the corrosivity, and the dangers for the person who is using it and for the environment. Also, the crevices or the intricate parts may get worn out. It may etch the surface if it is left for more time or the concentration is quite high. These are the other issues. So what we have done, we have developed a citric acid based solution wherein in the right side you can see very clearly the surface is spick and span, free from all kinds of corrosion, particularly the Fe2O3, and the bare surface is there without further oxidation because we have an additive there which prevents the flash rusting. What is that additive? It acts in such a way that the interaction of oxygen will not be there. It acts as a barrier coating and further rusting will not be there at all. Of course, it is only a temporary rust preventive. If you really would like to prevent the rust, there are many coatings which are available. Depending on the requirement, it can be suggested. For about 2-3 days to a week's time, you can go for the water base. Subsequently, you can think of an oil, or you can even think of a paint or a powder coating or a plating, something like that. So similarly, this we did for Cummins, which is a US-based company. It is for the remanufacturing industry. This is a diesel engine cylinder head. When the diesel engine runs for a few lakhs of kilometers, say about 4 lakhs or 6 lakhs, you will have a heavy deposition of carbon, which you can see that black color in the left photograph. So when that kind of a thing is there, the deterioration of the efficiency of the working will come down drastically. So we need to replace it or remove that, clean it properly and fit it back again. So the conventional way, as I said, it is not only in India, even in the US, they use hazardous acids and alkalis to clean this, and they use lot kind of different brushes like brush, stainless steel brush, and keep brushing it. Maybe an atomized one may also be available, may not be manual, but still brushing is required there, which I have observed in most of the countries. What we developed is a unique cleaner where you just dip it for some time, let's say about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on the contamination, remove it, followed by a high pressure water wash. You will get a spick and span surface. You can observe inside the ports are also very, very clean. So this sort of a cleaning is very, very important for any kind of industry and for any component or any surface, I should say. It's not only the metals, even as I said earlier, non-metals also. So, and these solutions are so eco-friendly and non-toxic and non-hazardous. This is the only company which is approved by OSHAS. OSHAS is an organization, US-based organization, which they come for the inspection and certify a company in terms of the environment, how safe it is, how the working atmosphere is, all these things. So, occupational hazardous category, they will audit and they certify. This is the only company which is approved by OSHAS, and this company is getting a Golden Peacock Award. And what is Golden Peacock Award? This award is given to a company who practices very high standards with respect to the environment. That means whatever the cleaners that you use should not contribute negatively towards the environment, whether it's for human being or for the nature. So when we designed all these solutions, it has passed all their tests, and finally they certified that it's totally eco-friendly. So they were getting a Golden Peacock Award. It's almost about 16 years now, 16 years back, which we have established. All the 16 years, they have got the Golden Peacock Award because no other industry has this kind of a facility, not even in the US. So this is a wonderful experience what we had with them. Coming to the next slide, here this shows a typical setup of a particular industry wherein you do the painting. Before that, as I said earlier, you need to clean the component so that the tanks, whatever you see, this contains various kinds of acids and alkalis. It starts from a degreasing where usually they do sodium hydroxide with some phosphates and surfactant, that to at a high temperature. And subsequently it goes for rinsing, a phosphate coating, then the painting. Probably don't worry too much about the steps which is involved. Tomorrow you're going to study that. But most importantly, what you should understand here is you can see so many pipelines which are attached to each and every tank. This is nothing but they would like to extract the fumes which comes out of this is thrown to all these pipes. You have a big machine which will be working and it sucks all the fume and it gets into the atmosphere. So only to remove that hazardous fume, they have all these facilities. Such a big facility and such a waste of energy and time, in my opinion. So what is that? The change that we have got is you absolutely no need of all these pipelines or the exhaust fans and other things. Even in an AC room, one can work this without any proper ventilation also. Of course, ventilation always is good. It is required because even though it is totally safe and non-toxic, something other than oxygen and nitrogen, whatever we have in the atmosphere, anything added to that is not good for the human being. So what we have done, this is one of the videos which I would like to show it to you. Hope you are able to see this video. Here, there is a liner which we are dipping in our eco-friendly solution, which is nothing but a citric acid-based solution. The white thing, what you see is hard water scale, nothing but calcium and magnesium scale, majority of them. And of course, you have some kind of a rust also. So when we have dipped in the solution, immediately it starts reacting with all the soils and it starts removing that. And when it touches the base metal, it absolutely stops working. That means there is absolutely no reaction on the base metal, unlike hydrochloric acid or nitric acid, which eats away your metal itself. If you keep it for a longer time, that threat is avoided. So your substrate, that is your metal or your component, is very, very safe. Many times it will happen the Friday somebody will come and dip the component, and next 2 days it's a holiday. Monday when they come, the component itself is not there. It's totally eroded. So those threats is not at all there when you work with this. And the best part is you can just handle it by touch it by hand also. It is totally non-corrosive. Of course, we are not recommending that you should not wear any gloves or goggles. Always we suggest accidental contact, you are very, very safe. That's what it says. And there are absolutely no fume, no smell, and no objectionable odor. And this becomes a very safe practice to clean any kind of component, particularly ferrous metals and alloys. So when we treat all these things, some contaminated, you can see the top one is before treatment and the bottom one is after cleaning. You can see the spick and span cleaning, which is 100%, which passes your millipore value immediately. Millipore is nothing but one of the tests what they do to check the cleanliness of the component. Of course, subsequently you can read all these things are definitely available in the when you Google it. I'm just trying to give you something which you may not get when you Google it. That's what I'm just concentrating. Of course, as I said, if you have any questions or any doubts, please stop me. Don't hesitate. So the bottom one, you can see it is spick and span clean. Even the threaded surface are intact and it is cleaned very well without any erosion. This kind of a surface finish, the surface cleaning is very, very important and required for every industry, particularly when you talk about the space or the aircraft or aeroplane or other industries where it is the cleaning is very, very critical, because even a small speck can create a very big accident. And this is a one more product which we developed. When you have a rust, the conventional way is to clean that rust, as I said, using some kind of an acid, where we have a safe substitution. We have developed a citric acid based solution, I said. So this particular thing is slightly a different compound, where you apply on the surface of a rust, it consumes the rust and forms a protective coating. The chemistry is very simple here. If you are able to, if I can explain a bit on this, the main ingredient is citric acid, and we have a small percentage of phosphoric acid, about 1 to 2%. What happens? This phosphoric acid, all of you know, it is H3PO4. It reacts with your Fe2O3. So PO and Fe will combine and forms a ferrophosphate layer. So that reaction in this phosphate layer form, this acts as a very good base for the subsequent painting or powder coating. It not only removes the rust, it avoids further rusting, and it acts as a very good base for your subsequent plating, coating, or painting. So this surface, creation of this surface is very, very important, particularly for ferrous component when you go for any kind of coating. If you don't do this properly, you may paint it, immediately it looks fantastic, but less than 3 months or 6 months or a year or two, definitely it comes out like a paper and you lose that painting, and again you have to recoat it. So rework is going to be too much. So this is one of the industries here in Bangalore. You can see the left-hand side, it is a column, the bottom plate is totally corroded. So this is a dangerous situation now, because once it cracked and the whole building is standing on this, and you can imagine the kind of a risk. So what is important? Now you cannot remove the rust using any kind of acid also, because the cement surface is that may spoil that. So we have applied this particular solution, allowed it to dry, and in the right side you can see we have repainted it. And now it is almost 7 years. There is absolutely no rusting at all. There is no peel out. The paint has not come out. So the maintenance cost comes down drastically once you do the proper cleaning. Similarly, in the seesaw area, if you see, you can see the kind of a rusting what it is. It is heavily rusted. A portion in the right hand side, you can see a small portion which we have treated. Again, it has removed all the rust and forms a ferrophosphate coating. This avoids the rust, and also, as I said earlier, acts as a very good base for the paint or powder coating. So your adhesion will improve drastically. So when you want to remove the rust, yes, go for an eco-friendly alternative. Probably, as I said, citric acid alone, citric acid will not work. Some proprietary additives are there, which is very easy. Once you start, if any one of you are interested, I can definitely guide you to develop all these formulations. And let me tell you, for the youngsters who are interested in starting their own business, this eco-friendly thing is required, as I said, not only in India, worldwide. And hardly there are people who are working on all these things. So there is a big potential what you have. Even today, if somebody comes up with a good rust remover or a rust preventive solution, there is a huge market, because every second there are thousands of tons of steel which is converting into rust because it is not taken care properly. So there is a huge requirement. And coming to the next important aspect of an industry, the paint remover. What happens in the production itself, when you have painted a surface, some kind of a scratch or something like that, they have to remove the paint and recoat it again. This is one of the requirements. And second thing is, the old components, after using it for a few years, a portion of the paint might have come out, but the rest of the paint, you have to remove it before the application of the new paint. So this is a small video which shows you have to immerse the component in our solution. So which is a transparent solution, is a paint remover. After some time you remove it, the paint will come out like a peel. Here again, this is works at room temperature and it's so eco-friendly without affecting the substrate. In this case, it is plastic. You can remove the paint. The conventional way, probably throughout the world, what they use is methane fluoride and phenol. These two are highly carcinogenic and toxic, and it creates a lot of problems. And there are so many deaths which are reported, and so many people got cancer because of using these paint removers, not only in India, even in US also. So we have come out with a totally eco-friendly solution wherein you can remove the paint from almost any substrate, whether it is wood, glass, plastic, metal. And this is one of the example of a metal which we are giving it for Toyota and Bidadi plant. These are all stainless steel jigs. On the left side, you can see after dipping, the paint shrinks something like this. And when you wash it with water, you will get a spick and span surface. So this spick and span surface, as I said earlier, is very, very important and one has to achieve it. And talking about stainless steel, I'm just trying to give you a few examples like steel, stainless steel, painting, aluminum like this, that's all. So talking about stainless steel, one of the important aspects of stainless steel is not only cleaning, you need to get a good passive layer. What is passive layer? It is nothing but a chrome-rich oxide which comes on the stainless steel that will protect the steel from the corrosion. That's why in the household also you can see the stainless will not corrode like your regular iron. It is only because of the presence of the high percentage of chromium. So the stainless steel, we have different grades, like we call it as 300 series, 400 series, another thing. But the food grade will be usually 304 stainless steel, which has about 18% of chromium, 17 to 18% of chromium, and nickel anywhere between 7 to 8%. So here, this forms a passive layer which protects from the atmospheric corrosion. For the general purpose, it is okay. But for a company like Bar, which they use high concentration of acids to produce their work, it has to withstand that atmosphere. So we need a higher passive layer. So usually in the conventional way, you get about 20 to 30 angstroms of coating thickness. In our case, we were able to produce up to 90 angstroms, which is very, very high. And the important aspect is, usually most of the people, most of the industries, I'm repeating again and again, it is not only in India, worldwide I'm telling, for cleaning stainless steel, unfortunately they use hazardous acids like hydrofluoric acid and nitric acid. We have replaced both hydrochloric and nitric acid, and we were able to successfully have the cleaning and passivation using eco-friendly solutions. And the same thing, we have transferred the technology to L&T also. This is one of the stapler which is used in the medical right. It's not only the aesthetic, it's the cleaning is very, very important, and the passivation is also equally important. And similarly for metro cars, you can see these things. And for Bemel and Feveli and Alsar, so many people we are supplying. The left-hand side, you can see this is stainless steel piece which is welded. When you weld, you will get an oxide scale like this. So what happens, because of the high temperature, the chrome oxide which is there will get burnt. So we can call it as a depleted chrome oxide which is present there. So which will not have any corrosion resistance from the atmosphere. So what is important, remove all those depleted chrome oxide and get a uniform chrome oxide which is free from all the contaminants. Then it protects the surface. So we did and developed for a Bemel. These are all the spot welding which you can see before and after cleaning. And finally, the metro car looks something like this, because they do many mechanical operations like welding, cutting, and so many other things, including fingerprint. There are many problems, oil, grease, and there has to be a particular way to clean this. And we are successfully able to cater to them right from simple cleaning to a passivation, uniform passivation layer what they have. So whether you call it as a Delhi Metro or Calcutta or Mumbai, most of them, they are using our solution. And rest of them, they were importing earlier. Now they have stopped that also. So this is with respect to stainless steel. Similarly, when we talk about aluminum, we have two categories in general. One is of a less silicon and one is of a more silicon alloy. High silicon alloy is always difficult to clean. And again, HF is used there. We are highly successful in developing a HF nitric acid free atmosphere. This is for the Bosch, Germany itself we have developed. It was a very successful project. And just for your information, let me tell you, high silicon alloy cleaning without HF and nitrate, hardly anybody has done in the world. And we are very proud that we have come up with a very safe alternative for the HF and nitrate. And for the past about 16 years, both Bosch, Germany and India, they are using very successfully, and there are absolutely no rejection. They produce almost about 1.5 to 2 lakhs component every day. So it's a very high, this thing. It's a very prestigious project, and we are very happy and proud of that. Now I will show some of the few slides on copper alloy. This is the conventional way of cleaning any brass or copper using nitric acid. And when you dip a component, this is how the fumes you get. It's nothing but nitrous oxide, which is highly toxic and corrosive also. So what we have developed is a very unique, again, citric acid based solution. When you dip in this, there's absolutely no fume, no smell. It is free from nitric acid, no objectionable atmosphere. And less than 10 seconds, it removes all the tarnished layer, and another 10 seconds, you will get a beautiful brightness. You can say it is an alternative for buffing, you can say. Where in spite of all the crevices, irrespective of the size and shape, you can clean it and you can brighten it very well. And not creating any problem for the atmosphere or even for the person who is going to do that. You can see it's already got the shiny surface. And what is the advantage of this? Apart from the health, safety, and the environment, you can take care of all the copper related, like brass, copper, bronze, beryllium, copper, so many, all these things, highly corroded, you can clean and recover it. Left side, you can see this highly corroded brass nut. Otherwise, it is thrown as a waste, or it goes for a scrap value. So by using our solution, you can clean it and brighten it. Even the threaded surfaces are intact. This you can reuse it. Similarly, copper you can see before and after. And this is about 4 years old, tarnished left side you can get. Tarnish is a word which is used for the, like rust, we identify the steel. For copper is used as a tarnish, that's all. So left side you can see that green, sometimes called as patina also. Right side is totally clean. These are all so safe and eco-friendly. Even temples or some of the worship places, they started using these. These are the idle. You just spray or dip in our solution followed by water wash. Right side, you can get a spick and span surface. Even some of the the doors, the front doors, which is having a brass plate before and after, you can say. Here it's mainly for aesthetic, I should say. But this beauty is exactly, anybody can like that. And these are all some of the copper air coolers. You can see right side is totally choked and left side we have cleaned. Those pores, which are very critical, without damaging that, we were able to clean this. And mind you, all these things worldwide, people are just throwing it as a waste. Nobody is using. Of course, some people are trying to using hazardous chemical. Partially, they are successful in cleaning. But with this case, one can clean it and make it as good as new. That is the beauty of this. Or even some of the resin surfaces, if you see KSRTC or railways, you can see very well. And this is how it is contaminated left side. And till date, the practice is just throw it, replace with a new one. But using 1 or 2 rupees, you can comfortably clean that and make it new. And similarly, the glass surface, if you say the topmost area on the right side, you can see it is cleaned very well. And otherwise, this is scrap. This is going to be a scrap, definitely. There are no other methods. Only thing is buffing you have to do or grinding you have to do. A glass will break when you put a pressure. It's very critical. Similarly, the left side you can see this is a filter which is being imported, which contains total oil. So one of our degreaser which we have used, and we were able to clean that filter and you can reuse it. So now what is happening? That import is totally stopped because mechanically there is no damage. Only the contamination is oil. So any filter with an organic or an inorganic contamination, you can clean and reuse it. There is no need to discard or call it as a waste and to throw it away. And similarly, you have some of the aprons which a painter will wear, and Left side, you can see it is totally contaminated with the paint. And we have a paint remover. As I said, for most of the surface, we can remove the paint. We have removed the paint from the apron also, which you can reuse it. Otherwise, they throw it, and it's called the hazardous waste also, because they have to pay some money for somebody to take it out, because paint is considered as a hazardous waste. And there are many applications like this. I will show you another 4 or 5 and close it. Here you can see the left hand side, you have a particular conveyor chain which is totally choked because of the contamination. Right side, we were able to clean it 100%. So all these things are very expensive. Some of them will cost 1 lakh to 2 lakh rupees per conveyor chain. Now those imported stock, and we were able to clean it and reuse that. Even a small example like gloves. A company like Toyota or Tata Motors, where they have 5,000, 6,000 employees, every day, 1 truck of this is being generated as a waste. You can imagine 1 truck is not a small amount. Into 25 days, minimum 25 days of a truck of these gloves is going to be a waste. They just burn it, that's all, nothing more than that. So we were able to develop a unique cleaner wherein you can clean it 100%, and this cotton can be reused very successfully. And similarly, there are plenty of varieties of gloves, right from electronic industry to so many industries. The cost varies from 10, 15 rupees to 300 rupees. All these gloves can be cleaned and recovered very well. So this is a polymer coated gloves which we were able to recover. Similarly, for some of the industries, this we developed for JSW, basically a steel rolling mill. The colored thing, what you see is nothing but the ferrous sludge. So basically, when you process iron, you have to take the iron ore. When you are processing that, you need to filter it. And these are all the filters. What you can see is the polypropylene filter. It's made up of polypropylene. And this bottommost photograph you can see used fiber cloth, which I have written, that is totally choked because of the ferrous contamination. And the treated area, when you remove the contamination, it becomes totally white, which you can reuse it. And just for your information, I'm just showing a small portion of this particular filter. This filter will be as big as 10 by 10 easily, or more than that. And they use it in thousands of numbers. So when we did this particular work for JSW, this has been patented now, and they are saving almost about 1 crore of rupee every year, because this again, it is imported. The PP filter with that particular mesh is not available in India. Now we are able to clean it and reuse it. And even some of the things like this from the Mysore Palace, the ground you can see, the portion which we have cleaned, the real glory you can see. This again for the aesthetic here, but the cleaning is very good. And similarly for Reserve Bank of India, left side what you see is the cut notes, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees. These are all the waste which they have generated. They produce this waste almost 1 ton a day. 1 ton a day, which is in RBI in Mysore. What we did, we have removed the ink, and now we got the white paper. This is converted into a pulp and again made a paper, currency paper, wherein you can reprint it. So we are going to save almost 1 ton of paper on a daily basis. So similarly, the fruities that you can see, which we all of us know, but what happens to these fruities? They just go for the landfill. There is absolutely no recycling method, but we have developed a unique technology wherein you can remove the pulp, you can remove the aluminum, and you can remove the plastic also. And all these things can be reused very comfortably. And similarly, you have a multi-layered plastics, which you can see. When you separate it, you have a PP plastic, SDP, and the regular plastic. When you separate, it has a value because you can remelt it and use it. Otherwise, it is going for the landfill. And landfill, for your information, most of you must be knowing, on a every day basis, there are several lakhs of tons of waste is generated. Alone, if you take Bangalore, I think it is something about 3 tons a day which is generated alone in Bangalore. It is not a small quantity, and everything is burnt, and that creates a pollution. And all these things, not only this, I will just show you a few more slides like this newspaper base. We can recover and make it as a new base for the paper, or even the office paper, whatever the print, or when we write it on the books or a ball pen or ink pen, all these things, you can clean it and recover it. So when I say the surface preparation or a cleaning, I'm not restricting here only for the components which is going for the manufacturing industry, new manufacturing industry, even the old industry can use, or even a waste, you can clean it and recover that waste. It may be a filter, oil filter, or a steel, or a brass filter, a copper filter. There are many applications once you have a right cleaner. And even the household thing like the tap, left hand side, you can see when you use a right chemistry, you can clean it and make it new, or even the ceramic surfaces. So basically, I was just trying to say that most of the cleaning requires a cleaner. That is for very, very surface requires a cleaner. And obviously, all these years, unfortunately, all of us have concentrated on cleaning it with some available thing. And unfortunately, that available thing is always toxic, hazardous, or totally polluting, I should say. Not only polluting the environment, even the atmosphere also. So now, with an alternative, using an eco-friendly thing, you can do all these cleaning probably better than the earlier cleaner, and also at a cheaper price. That also I tell you. Because it works at room temperature and your coverage is more, you have all the advantages. So only thing is, one has to have some patience in checking, am I doing the using the right cleaner or a right chemistry? This is what one question has to be asked. And am I in line with the environment? As I said earlier, these two are very, very important things. I'm sure most of you must have seen this. Few years back, Environment Day is coming. 5th is an Environment Day. So a few years back, the Environment Association, they have released this particular picture. Somebody has thrown this plastic, which you can see on this tortoise. And when the tortoise was a baby, that it has entered into a system. And unfortunately, after 11 or 13 years, the other parts of the tortoise, it has grown, except in the stomach area. Not intentionally somebody has thrown. What I'm trying to say is, with or without our knowledge, we are creating pollution in such a big way. One has to be, what I should say, a bit more cautious about what is that I'm doing. Any action which I'm doing, is it hurting somebody? It may be even a simple, small word like, hello, how are you? How is that you're going to treat your friend, treat your parents? From there it starts. It is not only when I say the environment, it can be anything. It can be somebody's emotion, it can be somebody's money, the water. How do we treat the water? Are we contaminating it? The subject is quite big. And as I'm repeating, with or without our knowledge, we have spoiled many things. And I will show you one or two photographs. This is a Yamuna River about 50 years back, which was flowing near Delhi. And today, can we imagine the Yamuna River is flowing something like this? And why it is? It is because of the industry which is letting all the pollutants without treating it, or using some kind of a thing which is not eco-friendly. These are all the hazardous things which straight away getting into the stream of the river. And we have spoiled that Yamuna. You can see the color of the river, it's already black and so many foam. I mean, foam is there in around kilometers together. And always I wonder if somebody is praying, I'm very, very sure God cannot do anything. God has given enough of thing to all of us. I should say more, but we are not utilizing the right way, right from our brain, right from the time, right from the opportunities, whatever we have. We are least bothered. We are just trying to pass the time with an immediate, what I should say, especially the students are there in having some kind of a pleasure. It's like eating ice cream. You may be happy momentarily, but that is not the true joy. We need to take care of the environment. That gives a tremendous joy. And the last two photographs, unfortunately, I was one of the auditors when we did this particular exercise with the Pollution Control Board here. This is a photograph near Peenya in a household, You can see the color of the water. It is yellowish. This is because the hexavalent chromium present in the groundwater level. And how that hexavalent chromium has come? There were many plating industries in Peenya who were doing chromium plating. For chromium plating, you need hexavalent chrome. And after the plating, whatever the effluent is there, they just used to drain it on earth without treating it, properly treating it. Strictly speaking, you have to bring it down to chrome 3 and you have to neutralize it and dispose in a particular way where it is not going to harm the environment. Here, they have not done that to save some money. And now the whole Peenya it is contaminated. The groundwater is contaminated with hexavalent chrome. Wherever you dig the borewell, you will get this water, which is highly carcinogenic. It creates cancer and it is toxic also. Unfortunately, the household lady, she is not aware of this chemistry. Hexavalent, she is not aware. She has took that particular water from the borewell. Some color was there. She felt that for washing it is okay. It may not be good for drinking, but I can wash it. But what is happening? You can see very closely the fingers. You can see the blisters. These are all cancer-causing blisters. Already she got the cancer. Unfortunately, we cannot say her that because of this water you are getting the cancer and stop doing it. Of course, indirectly we said now it is stopped, but still, how many houses are there like this? God only knows. And mind you, I was shocked to see one of the Pani Puri vendor was using the same water to serve Pani Puri. And many people are happily eating that. So somebody is creating a pollution and somebody is eating that pollution. And as an educated people, where do we stand? What is that we are doing? So sometimes I feel last time when the Chandrayaan success was there, in one of the parties I was telling, we don't know how to live on Earth. So how do you think that reaching moon or Mars will help us? So honestly, I feel we have to change our attitude. So that's why always I say, we, the source of pollution. We have created this and we have to solve it. So we are the source of solving it. And who is that we? I strongly believe the younger generation, the students like you, when the proper awareness is there, I'm very, very sure we will get back our environment. Unfortunately, my generation and earlier to my generation, we have spoiled it left and right. And this generation, the responsibility is very big because of our mistake. I'm very sure that you will take care of that. And the A or the plus or the A minus, it is not the blood road, as I said, it is an attitude. So a negative attitude to positive attitude, we have to change. So instead of using some hazardous thing, why I should use hazard? Let me stop. This is the only thing what we had to think, that's all. So when you end up with some situation where, okay, eco-friendly alternative is not available, that is why I'm using hazardous, then you are alone. I will guarantee you there is nothing like that. More than 99% of the cases, you have an eco-friendly option which you can use it. So last two slides, always I say, what is green? It is a green thinking. From there it starts. The green food. Mind you, friend, whatever you are eating is full of toxicity. If you browse it, you can see. Please spend some time browsing all these things. The coloring agent, what is there, is cancer causing. And the alcohol, what is there in your cleaners, and the acids, what you have in the toilet cleaner. There are so many hazards and toxic things in the household which we are using. We never understand that. And overall, if you observe, the strength of our own humanity about 100 years back was quite good. And why that health is not there? Only because of the so many toxic things around us. Even when you eat, it is toxic. When we talk, there is a toxicity, ego. So many things. Of course, I don't want to elaborate on all those things. You know very well. So with this, I would like to end my talk. And this photograph is to say, few people who are sleeping, please thank me because you had a wonderful time to sleep. And the students who are awake, definitely you thank me, or I will thank you for your awakening. Thank you. Thank you very much. I thank Dr. Anantaraju again and Dayanand Sagar College for inviting me here to share my work. Thank you. If you have any questions, I will be pleased to answer.
So really, it is a meaningful and wonderful session, sir. We are really grateful for this. First of all, before I go, the session is very meaningful. That's what just I wanted to say, sir.
Okay. Hope I have not crossed the time.
No, sir. No, sir. It is all very useful to our students.
Simple, sir. See, what you have experienced, you are showcasing all those things to the students in just an hour. I know very well it has took a decade for you to understand these concepts to come out of such an innovation.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's probably more than 40 years or 40 to 45 years of your field.
That's right.
It's just in 1 hour, that 40 years of journey of experience we explained to the students as well as for us, brother. That is really great. We are always will show our gratitude for your knowledgeable inputs to all the students as well as the faculty members of the department, sir.
No, thank you. But I always say, no, I admire people like you and other teachers. Have a very big responsibility, which you are molding student. I think that is something really nice and great. Because I don't think in any field, your contribution is immense. Let me tell you that. Because whatever we are here today, you know very well that you or me, it is only because of our teachers, isn't it?
True, sir. True, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. If there are any questions, let me just take it.
Yeah. Sir, thank you, sir. Very informative talk, sir. It is very useful to our students also.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, we have not given the access to the students to ask the questions.
Okay.
They can put it in the chat box. One of the
Fine.
student is asking about the effluents treatment after cleaning.
Hmm.
One
Yeah.
of the student is.
Correct. This is a very good question. Here, when you once the work is over, the effluent will have two components. One is our cleaner, and second thing is the pollution which is removed from the component. Let us say you have removed a kind of an oil or a grease from a particular surface. So the effluent is our cleaner, an oil grease, and a water which you have used for rinsing. That oil grease is always hazardous. That you have to skim it and dispose it as per the pollution control code. Whereas the cleaner is totally biodegradable, non-toxic. What you need is to adjust the pH. If it is acidic or if it is alkaline, you need to bring it to neutral by adding, say, for example, if it is citric acid based solution, add some bicarbonate, take it to the 7, and you can dispose it very comfortably. But having said this, one more norms of pollution board is your TDS, that is total dissolved solids, should not cross about 2000 ppm. So for TDS, you need to have the water recovery unit. Either you had to evaporate it or dilute the water in such a way that your TDS will come down, which you can use it for any other cleaning or for gardening. So generally, the conventional effluent treatment setup will help in a very big way to recover all the water and the cleaner very comfortably. So in one word, I should say, with a conventional way, if you are creating that effluent, if it is taking about 1 hour of particular treatment time, here it will take about 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes maximum. So that is the difference in the effluent treatment, I should say.
Okay, sir. That's really nice, sir. Okay, sir. Now, I think we have come to the end of the session. I now request our colleague, Dr. Karupaswamy, to propose the vote of thanks. Sir.
It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks. First of all, I thank that invited speaker of the day and Rajiv Dixit sir. He explained all those real-time applications by using that greener degreasing solvents instead of the conventional method of degreasing, as well as acid pickling like trichloroethane, HCl, and nitric acid something. So it is an alternative for us, and I hope the students they have enriched their knowledge in terms of surface treatment and metal finishing by using that greener citric acid degreasing methods. And second, I thank the management and principal sir and our HOD sir, those who are that live instrumental wire for all the activities in our department. And I thank our fellow coordinators, Dr. DM Madam and Dr. Pradeep sir, and our department faculties, those who have supported for conducting all the activities in our departments. And last but not least, the students, those who have participated in this webinar, I thank the students also. So very nice talks. And that Zoom providers, Captain Nagaraj sir and Muhammad Idias sir, for providing the Zoom link for us. Thank you, one and all.
Sir, nice to see you, sir. Again, very shortly I'll meet you, sir.
Yeah, anytime.
Shortly, just I plan to meet you with your. Just I'll take your time, sir. Just I'll ask your permission before I'm coming.
Most welcome. Anytime.
Come and meet you, sir.
I think third, your college people are coming, I believe, not your college. Probably it's a different college. Dayanand Sagar here you have in Kanapur also, no? I think
Dayanand Sagar Academy Technology Management. yes, sir.
academy. I think about 40 students they are planning to visit us here.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah, it's near for them, no?
Excellent.
No, anytime. Pleasure meeting you. Please come down.
Surely, sir.
Anytime we can meet, not an issue.
I wish to meet you, sir, as quick as possible.
Definitely, Raju. It is always, I keep remembering you and most of the people. There are situations, where I feel, oh, if Raju used to be there, it would have been very nice. but I know all of us are involved in our own day-to-day commitments. It's very difficult. But definitely, we'll try to take some time out and have some kind of an activity. Always,
Yes,
I
sir.
believe.
Definitely, sir.
We'll meet. We will definitely meet. We'll definitely
Yes, sir.
meet. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Raju. Thanks to your team. I think they are
Thank
wonderful
you.
people.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Madam,
Thank you very much,
Ramani,
sir.
madam. Yeah, no, it's
Your
my pleasure. My
like
pleasure.
the industrial visit, webinar, and FDP talks are very good, sir. They're actually helping us a lot.
We are
To
also
im-
getting some motivation from you, sir.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Sure, sir.
No,
And
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Small request to our students, please fill the feedback link which is shared in the chat box. Against that, we will be evaluating your assignment books. Okay. So all of you are required to give the feedback. Sorry, sir. For our
No.
students, we are giving some
Correct.
instructions.
Correct. I can understand. That's very important. Now, please pass on the feedback to me also, especially the area where I can improve, because that is very important.
Sure, sir. Sure. Will do.
Yeah. Please. Yeah, madam. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Thank you, sir.
We will
Thank
meet
you, sir.
again. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye, Raju. Bye.